Hello, Lisa here, interdimensional 5D. If you go to sleep at night and wake up and feel like you've done something in the dream time, more than likely you have. We consider this that you're part of the army of the Lord or you're part of the army of the bad guys. Either way, I'm speaking to you. These theorems are based on Dolores Cannon's work, reading the Bible, my own personal experiences, and my own personal experiences. And I'm an ancient alien theorist. When I say you go to sleep at night, you feel like you've done something, it's a progression. So you go to sleep. A lot of times at the beginning, you'll just feel like, wow, I I did something. Like maybe you felt like you took care of babies, or maybe you looked at a screen all night long, or maybe you were doing this all night long, or this, or you come back with bumps and bruises and you don't know what happened. You'll have little vestiges of memory. At first, sometimes it starts with like maybe you remember what looks like symbols that turn into numbers and alphabets. Maybe you'll remember part of a doorway or a hatch, what looks like a hatch. And then slowly the memories start to progress, and then you start remembering that you're doing stuff. This is how it progressed for me. I'm explaining my experience so that if you have these, and these are things, occurrences that happen upon awakening, like the seeing of symbols into numbers, or remembering helmets, or remembering being carried by very large men. You have to remember when we fight up there in the etheric, we're fighting with angels. Now, people, angels are wonderful to think about, just they float around and they're very happy and pleasant. All angels, even guardian angels, are warriors. They're warriors before they're anything else, okay? They have very loving and kind spirits. They like to joke around. They would prefer to laugh and sing as opposed to fight. However, fighting is what they do, and they do it very well. So if you're ever in trouble and you need to figure out your way out of a situation, they're the ones to go and ask, hey, who can I talk to about a situation? Now, Loki, our actual loving Loki, is on the planet. He's one of the divine entities that actually walks this planet, as well as I could call him the Lord Jesus. Um, they're here, people. They're here in disguise, incognito. That's why I'm here speaking um, about the dream time. When you energetically, okay, our experiences when we're getting the dream time and we know what we're doing and we hook up with people, you're quantumly connected when you get to this level with enemies and friends from the past. Some of us are luckier than others that we have more friends, some have more enemies. I don't know how God sprinkles it about, but know that your life is different than mine. However, I'm sharing my experiences so you can understand what's going on. When you quantumly connect with your friends, soulmates, past life, relationships, which I assume some of them are needing to be resolved or have parts of it resolution. I'm thinking I'm not paid enough, or I'm not paid at all actually, to tell you, God's plan. That's him, for him to do. I don't really know how it all shags out and works out, but I know about the dream time, in that this is our discourse between God. Okay, we work for him. And a lot of us who are the warrior parts um, have been through war in past lives. Now, some of us in this particular group, we were part of one particular battle in which our souls got split up. And so maybe that's why some of you are connecting with me, because we were having to put together our experiences from different timelines, and I think you need somebody who's a timeline expert or a mystical traveler to help pull it all together. And unfortunately, somebody drew the short straw, and I think that was me. But I don't know that to be true. If that resonates for you, then that's what I am for you. Um, Speaking of warriors, I just watched a video by an American Indian talking about women as warriors. I'm going to put a link to that video in my description. It's always good for us to know, um, A, that all religions have value, all spiritual teaching has value, and all spiritual teaching is from the God. Okay? Now, I'm not trying to dispute the Bible, not in any way, shape, or form. However, I would like to see the Bible in its actual words. Actually, God says He wants to see it that way. Because if you put the actual words without the stupid misogynistic translations, you might get an understanding that all religions equal God, the all one principle. Is actually more in effect in that Bible than anybody want, and that's why it was chopped up. In my personal opinion, I don't know. I've seen the words, but this is how this psychic feels about that. Um, I'm here to talk about the well. I got this download, a transmission. I wrote it down a few nights ago. I haven't. I As I read it to you, I'll probably. They want me to speak about an individual who's on the planet that some people call the well. Okay? And in part, the hellacious court battle that spans the globe. Seriously, it's bizarre beyond beyond all recognition. That it affects this individual called the well. Now, I have a deck of cards that I use. Ethereal Visions, Illuminated Tarot deck by Matt Hughes. Okay? I pull these cards as like personal cards. They like in my heart space, and it's really interesting. That particular deck has two extra cards in it. um, the Artist and the Well. The artist has little wings on his feet, which denotes to me when I speak to you guys, or girls, us dragons, whatever you want to call ourselves, earth angels, chosen ones, whatever you want to call us. You know, we all have been in the creative realm. I have to have been. That's the way I see it. And then the well, the female by a well. She's got the etheric smoke. It reminds me of the Chinese when they fight with silken things. I just think the Chinese are so fucking cool. But I want you to note on the well in her hand, she's got a pendulum. Okay, so this is this artist's creative addition to the tarot deck, which I think is wonderful. I pull these cards when I'm really dealing with some of you creatives out there. Now, there was a message to the collective after I did Arcadia Speaks. I'll put that link. I did it kind of so please forgive the couches. We kind of let the pets eat on things when the dog was Big Moose is young, and they chew stuff, and you know how young animals be. We don't let them not do their thing, so therefore the couch is all chewed up. Anyway, that this is kind of an adjunct to that, and it kind of relates to what's going on in the court deal and the well. So there's a group of people, and I don't know if they come under the heading of being artists or crafty, but there's a group, call it a conglomerate if you will, and it's facilitated by a King of Pentacles in particular, but there's more than one of these guys, okay? It's a group of prestigious, elite, creative people who should be on the better side of things. And they have the well, they got the well bubbled. They're keeping the well in a prison, as it were. In a prison of illusion, the illusion that the well can't celebrate. They don't want the well to celebrate or be happy in any way, shape, or form, because this is this is like this making me angry, because the well is brilliant and has wonderful ideas and always coming up with the better way. All you have to do is shoot the well some interesting ideas and she'll shoot out answers to you, and they're usually like spot on. And they get all happy about it, right? There's a whole group of people who have garnered a lot of money from the well, and they just want to keep the well just always alone, always packed up, and always walking away from something. And keep the well so she cannot thrive in any community or any situation. Okay, it's one of the biggest conspiracies that's ever been on planet Earth. And when this court, if it ever comes public, which I'm out here being a bitch about it, because it should become public, because it involves regular citizens' privacy, hacking into the internet, only allowing certain people to see certain things on the internet, and this group is really diabolical and run by the devil, as it were. And that's the group we're fighting right now. If you listen to me and you think it's true, I know there's a bunch of little Harry Potters out there. You guys be careful. And some of you big boys out there, watch after those little guys that they don't get eaten or taken off for human sacrifice, because that's what these bad elites do. Tick, 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 tick. We're going to stop it. We are going to stop it. Now, this is about 3 nights ago, this came in. I wrote it down, but they told me to hold back. A message from the well. What a strange journey. A repulsive invasion of privacy. A trauma show. Dictated and started by 2 generations, as it were, of revenge pornography and the followers of such a debauched group. And one of the words I heard today out of this court case was voyeurism. Is voyeurism illegal? I don't know. I think it is up in the universal law, but is it down here? The well, a creative, loving, open artist of many disciplines, abused for being an unusual nature with abilities that extend beyond what is deemed as normal human paradigm. Involved in black ops, removed from rosters, abundance stripped, and opportunities constantly closed off so others could garner money, fame, and glory. And my cards now today, these cards were from this morning. Back up that statement. The last 10 years, constant verbal abuse. The last 10 years, constant verbal abuse, forced squalor, and constant nighttime physical abuse and rape, mutilation, and disgusting ritual, unbeknownst to the well, via witchcraft and warlockery. A group tagged it the victim. Supposedly the star of the kingdom at the end was to kill the victim finally, I think. Am I right on that? Because surely I am guessing as a psychic will. But they say I'm right. The victim. And began a nighttime ritual of touching. Touching its personal parts. And adding personal attachments, energetic attachments into the well and harming it from the inside out. One character was used by all to charm it, and the well had no idea if the person is real or not. Well, the person's real in this world. Once awakened, the well has learned of this constant, ongoing abuse. Now, thanks to reading Jenny Lusko's book, the well has learned she has all the power through the might of God above and by the sacrifice that was made by the well's brother, Jesus. Because the well considers Jesus Lord and brother. So the well has called an end to all physical attacks of any sort, even the energy weapons. Oh, and I have something to say at the end of that Spirit told me about these energy weapons. And has called judgment on every single person who has touched and manipulated it, even those who have worked for those who have touched it. If you have not made tribute, you will pay for it with your lives. This is the well has decided, and God concurs. God says they will listen, as some have already begun to pay the price. So, when the well found out that the well was divinely connected, the well said, "It's over." And so, the well sees with more clarity. However, here's where I found out some interesting stuff today via my reading on Arkadia Speaks and by being able to listen into the cosmic reality. The couple that's being kept apart are unusual, okay? They will appear unusual to the world, and boy, has this ever been beaten into both of their minds as if it can't be, yet it's supposed to be. Then there are so many people wanted to be this couple, and it's going to astound you when the court case comes out. If they allow this part to come out, it's going to astound you who wanted to swap places with the well. It's also going to astound you who wanted to swap places. And for this personal video, I'm going to call it Victor. um, anyway, Victor and the well had an unusual experience in that when I bring up charms like elephants and memory recall things on the cards, the charms will show charms and clouds. When you see elephants, people, in your Dreamtime folks, know that you're going to have a memory download. Sometimes they come through music, sometimes they'll come through personal, intimate contact, and sometimes they come through like just in your crown chakra and you have an experience. So the well has actually started hooking up with somebody in the 5D space, and they've kind of gotten acclimated to each other's energy, and kind of know each other very well, I think. I'm speaking from an experiential state. But they found out who they were to each other in past lives the other day, and it was quite profound because a lot of it was quite sexual. So somebody tagged along into that energy. Now, this is where I have to tell you, when you're in the 5D paradigm, please note it's like operating on a subway platform. If you've never had the experience of riding the subway, then you need to go to a big city and ride the subway to know what I mean when you say that. So you're standing there on the subway and there's hundreds of people around you. So nothing you do is private. Okay? So, like, if Victor Radcliffe and I were having sex, it would be like we're having sex on the subway. You know? No, everything's out there. So, most we block it in energetically or try to, pull the curtains, as it were, via our angels and using Lord Morpheus to mask it in. And then there's always the miscreants who say, I want to see what this is about. And they're the voyeurism is I know voyeurism in 5D, you're breaking a significant universal law. If you don't know that, know that. And these people are so moneyed, they're so fucking moneyed, they can actually kill human beings and then pay the bail to get off and then just keep doing it, okay? And these bad ones do not believe in God. They do not have souls, because after I had that intimate experience, Miss Sapphire Hangington came out of the woodwork and had to say, Lisa, this is so funny. I'm giving myself away here, but Lisa, there's no such thing as sin. That's how the devil operates within some of these people who have profound names, a lot of money, and are given power by their governments or people who are empowered. You are empowering the devil. That's there is no such thing as sin. Okay, so when you get into these people who teach you how to manifest and tell you about limiting beliefs, and yes, there are limiting beliefs. This is where discernment from God comes in, okay? But never, under any circumstances, do not think there's not someone up there judging you. Because as these birds speak and the trees are out there, everything judges. Okay? If you've been to art school and you put your art up and you get critiqued, you know how that feels. So a lot of artists you go in and you critique yourself and become very self-aware. That's a good thing, okay? And that's through that self-awareness we work towards self-actualization, to where we can become more pronounced in the now, okay, and move forward and channel our energy that way. I'm only learning this at a very late stage in life, and it's all coming quickly because literally this group of people that they're fighting, it's actually my spirit team is fighting, and it's going to come out in public so other people don't suffer as I have, to keep regular people down. Because even in the base of regular people, there are very high level energy regular people who those divine masculine or feminines need. Okay? You don't necessarily need that's in your entertainment field. You don't necessarily need that which is in your archaeology or scientifical field. There's regular people here to balance those stars. And that's what they're here for. And one of those balancers was put under wraps and contained and held in a bubble for more than a generation. And as the tarot say, when you get in the way of one of God's chosen, this this court case and what's going on is what happens. And this one's gone on way too long. Anyway, we'll see. And they're trying to keep it to go on forever because the well is older now. Let's hope we can keep it going and the well just pass away. Let's see. And they're a lot younger than the well now. And the well laughs because she knows how things go, and it's like, well, let's see how many of them pass away before the well does, because that's really ultimately what it might come down to, and that's, to me, it's humorous, and God thinks it's funny. The angels laugh. Wait, okay, so this I hear. Okay, so I've told you guys to ring doorbells make a sound. So I hear this air, and it's like, okay, is that somebody ringing me? And the angels say, yeah. And I said, okay, who is this with this air sound? Identify yourself. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a joke for you people out there, because I don't get it. He says, it's Justin Bieber. Oh, what do you want? Justin Bieber goes, I gave you some sleeping pills. Oh, okay. So now I don't know. Does that mean they slipped it in? Because seriously, people, they can do things to us. They take stuff and move things around, and they can do stuff to you in the 5D. I don't know. Do you put sleeping pills in my water? Did they like shoot me with some invisible? I go, okay, sleeping pills, goodbye. And then my angels on this side, because there's angels on this side, the angels on this side, which is Hamiel, Gabriel, Raphael, those guys, they start laughing. So I still don't know what that means. If you know what that means, I don't have comments. Could you send me an email? I mean, my email's up there. Because I don't get it. I don't, if that's a joke, I don't get that Justin Bieber gave you sleeping pills. Unless you guys know something I don't know. But see, I don't watch news and shit. Anyway, Justin Bieber, hello. If you watch me. um, but I think he comes up in the trial because Diddy's involved. Diddy, Jungle Bunny. What a mean thing to say. How dare you set up Diddy? Justin Bieber, He'll dress you up like a baby and spank you. But you might like that. Anyway, that's not where I wanted to go with this. Anyway, there it is. The well is saying some people might die if they don't get their shit together. And you know what? Stay out of other people's business. People, if you already got CCTV cameras in somebody's house, why do you have to try to get into their head? Oh, head, energy weapons. Um, this is interesting. Okay, so when they shoot the energy weapons, and you got to realize they're using satellite telemetry, they're looking down into your house through that X-ray shit, and they can see into you. And then we got the telephone bullshit things, those points, and um, guys, what was that word you told me? And I asked, how are they doing that? And they said it was 3 letters. Let's see if it's on my history. I looked it up and I was stunned. Let's see if it's on my history if it comes up. AIR? Was it AIR? A. No, it's ALR? ALR. Something like that. American Law Course. And technology. Oh, ALR is what I need to talk about. Ambient light rejecting, a type of screen designed to reflect light from a projector while rejecting ambient light from other sources, making the image brighter and clearer. So there's some form of kind of like an energy ray they could shoot at you. Was that the one you guys told me about the other night? No. Okay, let me. FLR? Was it FLR? It wasn't that. I had ALR. Well, when I get back to it, it's some form of technology that our phones use. It's a three-letter. Um, I want to say AIR, something like that, but I know just air will come up. That these phones have the technology to beam out. So if they send their energy ray to us or to the phone, they can direct energy to specific parts of your body. So what they were doing to me is down by my vagina, it would feel cool and watery, as if, okay? That's a form of harassment. It's a form of sexual harassment. And this is going to come out in this court case. So if you, as a woman, and you're one of our warriors, if you feel on occasion like somebody's got a cool, watery hand down there, you're being sexually harassed, write a log, start logging it, date and time as when you were, and know your phone. Batteries out, turn it off, put it in another room, but they can still do it. They have stuff and they have ways and means, okay? We're talking people with no moral compass who don't see, they believe there's no such thing as sin. So they're activated, they're elevated, but they've gone through the brainwashing techniques that God doesn't exist. And they think they can control and operate everything based on money and the fact that they pay off politicians and legal powers. But that is going to come to an end. Um, and more people are going to stand up and ask people to be more responsible. Anyway, peace out, everybody. I think I've gone on too long. But anyway, the well's out there. The well said enough is enough. I know a lot of people out there have a lot of respect for the well. Thank you for that. Thank you all to the hidden helpers. And for people who don't believe there are hidden helpers out there, there are. And I know who they are. Thank you. Thank you more than words can say. And thank you for watching if you have. I hope this content helps people. I mean it to be a helpful way. And just know that if you're different, it's okay. Okay? Differences are important right now. Well, I think you're amazing. And I absolutely love you. And be well, friends, now. Bye now.